Okay, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. So how many?
360 degrees.
360s. So it's not 100%, rather 360. So normally pie chart is suitable when you have only one variable. What do I mean by the variable? That okay, here you have data of patients that visited the OPD of a hospital. And then it may be like this, that okay, that fraction are men, women, and then girls and boys. So if you have data like this, you have only one thing and you can represent it through pie chart. But let's suppose if you have another thing that is associated with this. For example, if I will going to link the gender can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't know how it's working. Light switched off. Okay. So a pie chart, normally if you have gender and then you have a season associated with it, in that case you will have two variables. And one thing you need to remember, that if I have to represent my data, if I have gender as well as the season, it will be impossible for me to represent that data in the form of pie chart, because that includes the two variables. One is the gender and the season. But separately, I can represent my data. If I want to represent only seasons, the pie chart is very, very much okay. If I want to represent only gender, pie chart is very, very okay. If I want to represent the age groups, pie chart is very, very okay. But if you have more, if you want to incorporate more than one variable, the pie chart is not an option for you, because it becomes impossible for you to represent that data in the form of pie chart. So as it has 360 angles, so you can, if you are doing it manually, then you have to just convert all those numbers into the angles, and then you give how much of a circle belongs to one group, and then another group, and third group, and the fourth group. But if you are doing it on computers, the computer, if you will going to choose an option of pie chart, it will become very, very easy. So I'm just going on with that example. If you look here, their frequencies were 2500, 2000, 4000, 1500, and their cumulative total is 4500, and then 8500, and then we have in total 1000. So in total we have 10,000 observations. Sorry. So in total you have 10,000 observations. So when it comes to the percentage, 2500, they are 25%. And then you just need to do very simple mathematics. 2500 divided by 10,000, that will be equal to multiply by 100. That's how we calculate the percentages. So it will be 2500 divided by 10,000. And then you have to multiply it with 100. That's how we calculate the percentages. And at the end of the day, you will get 25%. And that's the second way to do it. Okay, you have to repeat the same process by using the second observation, 2000 divided by grand total, that is 10,000 multiplied by 100. These are very simple percentages. And then you have to repeat for 40 and then. But these are the percentages. But when you need to represent them in the form of pie chart, software will do that automatically, no issue. But when you have to develop a circle manually using an angle, please mute your mic. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, please mute your mic. So what you need to do now, that let's suppose you have 25% of the observations. So how to do it? Convert them into the degrees of a circle. So it will be 25% 25% is nothing else but 0.25. If you just convert the 25%, either you directly write 0.25 or you can write it 25 divided by 100. That's how we represent. So these are two options available for you: 25 divided by 100, and then you need to multiply it with 360. Or instead of 25, if you are using the word 0.25, you do not need to divide it by 100. So in that case, you simply need to multiply it with 360. And what will be your value? 0.25 multiplied by 360. You can just use the calculators to calculate it. 0.25 multiplied by 360, that will be equal to the 90 degrees. So using an instrument, as we name it as the D or something like this, you just need to include the 90 degrees to one category. And then when it comes to the woman, you need to repeat the same process. 0.20 multiplied by 360 or 20 divided by 100 multiplied by 360, that will give you the same result, that is 72 degrees, and then that is followed by 144 degrees and then 54. So that if you have single variable, it does not make any difference how many categories that variable have. For example, here they mentioned 4 categories. Nothing will going to happen that if you included a fifth category as well. 6, 7, 8. As far as number of options are available, no issue. But variable should be only one. Is it clear? Do you have any question regarding the pie chart? Do you have any question regarding the manual calculation of pie chart? When it comes to the softwares, either Microsoft Excel or you are using SPSS, any other software, when you will go with the practical training, you will not have any problem with it. So do you have any question regarding the pie chart? Please confirm me and so that I can continue. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And now the second option, that for example, if you have 2 variables, the second option you have is to go with bar chart. Bar chart is most widely used graphical method for describing qualitative data. A set of bar representing some magnitude over time space. Commonly, you can have simple bar chart, you can have multiple, and you can have component bar charts as well. So that's the example of simple bar chart. Simple bar chart represent only one thing. Along the y-axis, you have the frequency, and along the x-axis, you have the decade. So normally, when it comes to the bar chart, we have 2 axes. One is the x-axis, and other one is the y-axis. And one thing you need to know, that your dependent variable is always along the y-axis, and your independent variable is always along x-axis. So along x-axis, always try to represent the independent variable. What do you mean by the independent variable? Can you give me any example? Any volunteer? Along the y-axis, we normally mention the dependent variable.
Sir, time is independent variable like this.
No, time is not always independent variable. Although most of the time it's possible, but I can give you an example where time is not independent variable.
Sir,
For example, yes, please.
sir, age maybe is independent variable.
If you want to, the first thing is the independent variable is independent and dependent variable depends on independent variable. So any variable whether it's an independent variable or dependent variable, cannot be independently assigned as dependent or independent. Rather, you have to show both independent variable and dependent variable and show their relationship in order to categorize them as dependent or independent variable. For example, I'm using the example of time. So if I am working on antibiotics, and here I am applying various antibiotics, and I want to know that which antibiotic is most effective. So here for recovery of patients, I will have the time. So time of recovery. And which is my independent variable? Antibiotics. Why it is independent variable? Because it I can just fix it. I can decide that how much dose I need to give to the patient is not dependent on time of recovery. Rather, time of recovery depend on antibiotics. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So time of recovery depend on antibiotics. So that's an example. So antibiotics and the recovery time, here the time is dependent variable, antibiotics is independent variable. You cannot decide the time of recovery. Please mute your mic. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, please mute your mic. Secondly, I can use the same time, as sometimes the time can be independent variable. Can you give me any example where time is an independent variable?
Sir, the number of diseases a person has with the passage of time. So,
okay, in that case, that's a very complicated example, but maybe you want to say that, okay, here I want to report that, okay, I will consider the time. Time refers to as maybe 1 day, 1 month, 5 months, 1 year. So if you are visiting a hospital, you have here, you want to see that how many disease cases they were reported in 1 day, how many disease cases they are reported in 5 days, how many disease cases they are reported in 1 month, or how many disease cases they are reported in 1 year. In that case, the time is independent and number of disease cases, they are dependent. How it is dependent? That you can decide the time. Okay, I will going to collect data after 1 day. I will going to take data after 1 month. I will going to take data after 1 year. So that's your choice. You can manipulate that time because that's in your control. So you can choose, okay, 6 months, 8 months, nothing. But as far as the number of disease cases are concerned, you cannot simply control them. You cannot say that, okay, on this day I will have more cases, on this day I will have less cases. You do not have any control on dependent variable. Another example could be the yield and the fertilizer. You can decide how much fertilizer you need to apply. That's your choice. You can fix the value. Okay, I will apply 1 kilogram, 5 kilogram, 10 kilogram. You have control over an independent variable. But you do not have any control on dependent variable, that is yield. Because maybe if you will apply 5 kilograms, you get nothing and you do not have any control on this. Is it clear?
yes, sir.
So do not declare any variable as independent variable or dependent variable until unless you just show the interaction, that what kind of study it is. So every study has its own independent variable and on dependent variable. So when you develop a bar chart, always represent your dependent variable along. We will going to discuss the dependent and independent variable in more detail when we will discuss later on in this course. So along the y-axis, and we have independent variable along x-axis. So these are number of decayed teeth, and then you have the frequency. That's one way to represent it. Okay, you can replace it with the season as well. For example, here you have the summer, here you have the winter, and here you have monsoon and post monsoon. Monsoon and then you have a post monsoon. And then you have winter. For in that case, I will have only four bars. And here this refers to the frequency of the malarial cases. Frequency of malarial cases. So that's a simple. When you are looking at frequency and then you have, as far as the season is concerned, that's independent variable, and as far as the frequency of malarial cases are concerned, here dependent variable. Do you have any question regarding the bar chart? And then I followed by the multiple bar chart. I told you that your pie chart has one limitation. The biggest limitation of the pie chart is that you cannot accommodate more than one variable. Just give yourself time. I'm just switching to my previous slide. Let's suppose instead of this, along with these men, if I would have another data like season, I'm learning how to write using the mouse. It's a horrible writing. So season. For season, I was required to develop a separate pie chart. I cannot accommodate the season in this pie chart. How are we going to accommodate the season in this part? Impossible. So only the biggest limitation of pie chart is that it can accommodate only one variable. But when it comes to the bar chart, you are flexible with this. So how you are flexible with this, that okay, you can accommodate more than one variable. For example, one variable is the marital status and other one is the gender. And here you have the frequency. So you can represent them with by representing the different bar charts. So that is indicating one thing and that is indicating separate. That refers to the male and female. That's a multiple bar chart. Multiple bar charts, they are flexible, that they can accommodate more than one variable. So in this data set, one is your dependent variable, that is your frequencies. While you have two independent variables, one is the male and other one is the gender and other one is the marital status. So in summary, either you can represent your data set, present your data set in the form of tables, you can build a pie chart, and you can build bar chart, and we're going to discuss other types in our next lecture. Do you have any question? I have another class where I have to quit. Do you have any question? Just feel comfortable and ask.
Sir, I have a question from the previous lecture. I asked when the lecture started, but maybe you didn't hear it.
Okay, please.
So the question is that in our previous lecture we studied that the grouped frequency distribution, its definition was like the class should be more than 1 unit in width. Does that mean that it cannot have just one number like 5 or 4, but it can have values starting from 5 to 6? Did I get it right?
Normally we okay. Normally, when we classify a data set, we have one thing, that your data set is large. That's why you are classifying it, because it's impossible to take a single unit. If you're going to take a class that includes only one unit, then what you have classified? If you're, for example, if your one class is 5, your next is 6, and the third one is 7, and the fourth one is 8. In that case, it's a raw data. It's ungrouped form. It must need to have more than one unit width. Otherwise, you haven't classified it. Is it clear? Was it the same question you were asking?
Yes, sir. But it can have like 5, starting from 5 to 6. Although I know it's meant to be for large data.
Okay, it can have any width. It depends on your data set. Normally, we keep classes less than 10. There is no hard and fast rule. So it's the discretion of the researcher. So it depends on the length of your data set. So it must be around less than 10, but it normally we keep it between 4, 5, 6. So we are flexible in this. No one will going to claim that if you have some logic behind it, you can use it, and no one will going to claim that why you have classified like this. You need to have a reason for classification, that how you classified them. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. If anyone have any other question, just feel comfortable and ask. Otherwise, I will going to dismiss the class in 2 minutes.